If the baby is crying, it can be hard to keep a level head, but it can help to go through a checklist of all the things it might be. 1. Does she need your comfort or attention? Try holding her in a cradle position, gently rocking, walking with her, quiet whispering, or singing. 2. Is she hungry? Follow your instincts, but if she has fed in the last 2 hours, you might try something else to help her settle. 3. Does she have a dirty nappy or a rash? For rashes, rinse with clean water, pat dry, and use a barrier cream. 4. Does she need a burp? Try holding upright and patting her back, which can soothe her even if she doesn't need to burp. 5. Is she uncomfortable? Check that she's not too hot or cold and has comfortable loose clothing. 6. Does she want to suck? Offer her a dummy or help her find her own fingers to suck. 7. Is she overtired? If she's been awake for a while, try wrapping her gently but firmly and putting her down in a quiet, dark and safe place. 8. Are the conditions right for her to settle? Try reducing stimulation by making the room darker and quieter. A gentle, regular sound of either soft music or white noise from a fan or a radio between channels can also help her tune out. 9. Is she sick? Does she have a fever? Take her temperature. Talk to your doctor if you have any doubts. 10. Do you need a break? Give your baby to someone else. If you're on your own, put your baby down in a safe place and take a break. Try again a few minutes later when you are calmer.
The baby's not going to hurt itself from crying too much for an extra minute. That minute that you spend away from the baby, it just gives you time to think and come back when you're a little bit more relaxed.
Whether you are formula feeding or expressing and feeding your baby breast milk from the bottle, you need to wash and sterilize the bottles to kill any germs that can make your baby sick. Removing and washing the teat, ring and bottle with a bottle brush and soapy water will clean them most of the way, but you need to pop them all into a pot of boiling water or a microwave sterilizer for about 5 minutes to stop all the invisible germs as well. And don't forget to wash your hands. For preparing the formula, make sure you have infant formula, sometimes called stage 1. Bring fresh water to the boil. Leave to cool down to lukewarm or room temperature, about 30 minutes. Fill a sterile baby bottle up to the line you need with the water. Then it's just a matter of measuring the dry formula accurately. Check the tin carefully for how much water you need for each scoop of formula. Give each scoop a couple of gentle taps to get rid of any major air gaps. And don't let any moisture into the tin of formula because that can turn the whole tin rancid within a day. If the scoop gets wet, rinse and dry it before putting it back in the tin. Put the lid on with the sterile rubber teat in place with the cover and let the powder fall down into the water a bit, helping it along by gently tapping it on the bench top and swirling it before you vigorously shake the bottle to thoroughly mix it. Then you can wait a few minutes for most of the foamy bubbles to settle down before offering it to your baby. You can choose to feed your baby room temperature or lukewarm milk formula, or you can warm up the bottle by placing it into a pot of hot water in the sink. Either way, test that the milk is flowing out of the teat and that it's not too hot.
To the most basic of the solids, like apples, or pretty much all fruit. Especially the more acidic the fruit, the more it gets a reaction. His ear goes red and he gets a rash down to his mouth almost instantly. I've possibly tried too many things early on, close together. I don't know if that added to his reaction or not, but we're just introducing sort of one thing at a time and doing it all very slowly, so hopefully he'll get over it soon.
with our child, we found out that with a lot of her poos, they were actually quite runny and smelly, and they were basically, she became dairy intolerant there for a while.
Babies have a condition called lactose intolerance, and in many cases that's physiological and normal. And what happens is that they don't quite have enough of the lactase enzyme to break down lactose. Now, lactose exists not only in cow's milk products, it doesn't exist in soy milk, it exists in cow's milk, but it also exists in breast milk. And so babies who have sloppy, yellow, watery pools, they've almost always got a degree of lactose intolerance, which for most babies is totally normal. It's not something you need to treat in a happy, content baby. If it's burning the backside because of the acid that's coming out, sometimes you have to make some dietary changes.
Most young babies will bring back up a little bit of breast milk or formula after a feed because the top of their stomach isn't mature enough to hold it down. Sometimes that's called spitting up or reflux.
It's a reflux. He didn't actually throw up or vomit, but he kept it. It came up to here probably, and then it just made it very painful. So, he would be screaming all day, basically.
A child who vomits, usually that means that that's a bit of reflux. But in the majority of children who have reflux, they don't need treatment. Because if a child vomits a few times a day and is thriving, and is happy, and there's no reason to treat. Never ever consider giving medication. Then there's the child who actually vomits and has pain, or the one who has pain even without the vomiting, where you can, they do this and they swallow and it goes down again, and you just know, and that's associated with the screaming. That's the type of reflux. Gastroesophageal reflux and heartburn that needs treatment. Reflux is very common and mostly doesn't need treatment.
I've developed this habit on Saturday mornings to just take a quilt and put in front of the block of units I live in, and just put the baby down and bring a couple of toys, and I just sit with him and we play together. And it's also good for me because I've been under a bit of stress with work lately, running a lot of deadlines and so on, and it's my time to just let go of it all.
We bathe our baby in the bathtub, and I lean over the side, and it's a natural thing. They love the water flow. You love simulating like the baby's swimming, or it might be a pram, they see a flower. Everything to them is an adventure.
6 o'clock on a Saturday morning, I get the baby as full as I could with milk, and then put him in the stroller and we'll go for a walk.
We've got a thing which I don't know if we should have kept going for this now that the oldest one's 4, but bring them into bed every morning. And just that moment when you just look over and when they're not elbowing you and kicking you and doing all that sort of stuff, when they're just lying there, just looking around, looking back at them, just gazing at them. It's a special moment that happens every day.
When I took him out as a little baby, I always carried him around in a baby bjorn facing out, and I just walked down to the shops or around the block and go out amongst people, and everybody who passed us was smiling. Everybody smiled, and I felt so proud. It felt so incredible good, and it seemed like the world was a perfect place. And when they smile at you, you tend to forget every other time that they've screamed. It's just that sort of feeling when they look at you and give you a smile. It's unreal.
Bottle feed your baby with expressed breast milk if unable to breastfeed, or infant formula. Babies cannot drink cow's milk as their main milk drink until they are over 12 months old. baby bottles need to be washed before every use. Sterilise the bottles and teats until your baby is 12 months old to kill any germs that can make your baby sick. Remove and wash the teat, ring and bottle in soapy water with a bottle brush. Rinse thoroughly and squirt water through the little hole in the teat to clear it. Then, put all the parts into a pot of water, making sure all parts are underwater and there are no trapped air bubbles. Bring to the boil and boil for 5 minutes. Keep the pot covered until ready to make up the bottles. To avoid burns, keep the boiling water away from children and leave the parts to cool before touching them. Store sterilised bottles in a sealed container in the fridge. Wash your hands before preparing bottles. Infant formula milk is made up of infant formula powder and cooled boiled water.
Bring fresh water to the boil. Leave to cool down to lukewarm or room temperature, about 30 minutes.
Check with a health professional for advice on which formula to use. Read the instructions on the formula tin for how much water you need. Fill a sterile baby bottle up to the line you need with cooled boiled water. Check the instructions on the formula tin carefully for how many scoops of formula you need for the water you have prepared. Tap the scoop to get rid of any major air gaps. Level the scoop with a flat blade. Do not pack the formula into the scoop. Don't let any moisture into the tin of formula because this will make it go off. Put the formula into the bottle and put the lid and teat on. Tap the bottle gently on the bench so the powder falls into the water. Swirl the bottle gently, then vigorously shake the bottle. This thoroughly mixes the formula, powder and water. Most babies seem to prefer their formula or expressed breast milk warmed up to room temperature. Stand the bottle in a pot of warm to hot water until it's just warm. Check the temperature by squeezing a drop of milk onto the inside of your wrist to test that it's not too hot and that the milk is flowing out of the teat. Do not use a microwave to heat up bottles, as this creates hot spots which can burn your baby's mouth. Try to make up formula as you need it. If you do need to make up formula ahead of time, put it into the fridge as soon as it is made. After feeding, throw away the contents of used but unfinished bottles after about an hour, as they become contaminated once sucked on. Throw out any open tin of formula after 1 month. Check the expiry date on tins of formula and chuck them out if they are out of date. Make yourself comfortable. Cuddle your baby close to you, holding him gently but firmly. Holding, cuddling and talking to your baby while he feeds is good for his development and helps you bond. Put the teat against his lips. He will open his mouth and start to suck. Keep the neck of the bottle at an angle so it is filled with the milk mixture. When he stops sucking strongly or when he has drunk about half the milk, gently remove the bottle and see if he wants to burp. Always hold baby in your arms when feeding. There is a risk of choking if baby is left alone with the bottle in his mouth.